eggs and the chickens, right? Now people are reportedly popping up with giant parasites inside of their eggs. This looked like a 2-foot tapeworm that it came out of an egg that a woman was boiling. And this is not the only incident where there's parasites that is coming out of people's eggs. What is going on with our food source?
What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. How you guys doing? If you guys are brand new here to the channel, you guys don't know what we do, let me break it down for you guys, man. We talk about the most scariest and creepiest videos on the net, on the web, from YouTube videos to TikTok videos, IG reels, Facebook, anything weird, unusual, unexplained, you can find right here on this channel. Just want to thank the seekers, man. Everybody who's watching the videos entirely, commented down below. I greatly appreciate the support. Found this video for you guys today. Let's do best, seekers. Stay with me, y'all. Yeah, I know what we do. Let's seek the truth.
Did the angels come down and cut down all the giant trees? Watch this.
Enoch describes this perfectly. And this book was left out of the Bible on purpose from our predecessors, but it describes the angels coming down and cutting all these giant trees down to flood out the Nephilim, the giants, these beings that stretched 4,500 feet tall. These trees would reach the heavens, and that's why you always see the flat mountaintops.
That was an
ancient massive trees way back in the day. Giant trees. This was a much bigger realm, and they came and they cut all this down because they wanted to get rid of the Nephilim. They wanted to get rid of the giants. It is said that there's about 200 of these trees that were cut down, and if you take a look around, that's pretty accurate. There could be even more, but the evidence is right in front of your face. And when you cut a tree down, water will start pouring out from the trees, but it's as above, so below. The water's above the firmament. This is where all the flooding came in. It was right after they cut the trees down was when we experienced this massive flood, and it wiped out all of the giants, all of the Nephilim. And this was mentioned again in the book of Enoch, and they left it out on purpose, guys. Like, they left this shit out on purpose because they don't want you to know the real origins of humanity and our true history.
I'll tell you some things
Giants?
I learned today. Apparently less than 10% of all plastic has ever actually been recycled. Orange chicken was invented at a Hawaiian Panda Express in 1987. Boeing once filled an airplane with potatoes to test its in-flight Wi-Fi because potatoes mimic the way humans absorb and reflect wireless signals. Sometimes I feel like a potato. I guess sun exposure can cause skin cancer, which is an obvious one, but it also reduces overall mortality rates, including from cancer. Apparently the population density of Manhattan is now 40% lower than it was in 1910, when it peaked at 2.2 million residents. That's a lot of people back then. Now it only has 1.6. Also, Central Park is only the 6th biggest park in New York City. That one blows my mind. Apparently Burger King is not allowed to use the name Burger King in Mattoon, Illinois, because there is a restaurant there already protected, as they made the name a state trademark in 1959 and have defended it in court against Burger King.
Now, why does everybody get on this app and act like that new iPhone 17 is the best thing since sliced bread? And if you don't know, Apple just dropped the previews for the new iPhone 17. And just like every other iPhone, the iPhone is trash. Look at this shit. They're about to play in everybody's face all over again. Oh, this is the biggest iPhone lineup ever. There's so many different colors. So they got 4 new iPhones. The iPhone 17 Pro Max, the iPhone 17 Pro, the iPhone 17 Air, and the iPhone 17. And the best thing out of everything is the iPhone Air. Made of titanium. And the battery lasts all day. Nobody don't care about that shit. You got 2 or 3 cameras, one with 1 camera, and then you got another one with 2 cameras. And again, Samsung wins. Nobody asked for none of this shit, man. Nobody asked for AirPods that translate shit. Who asked for that? I'm going to say this again. Because I have an iPhone, I'm filming this on an iPhone, but I also have a Samsung. Samsung is truly better. I'm not going into the details to tell you everything it should do. You go down the rabbit hole and see. And listen, I know everybody is about to say, yo, the 17 is coming out. I'm about to go waste my money. I might just go get 2. not like it. Apple, you did it again. Y'all need to straighten your shit up, man. For real.
Back on the subject of
Y'all team Apple, team Samsung, bro. I don't think you can upgrade my phone to the clunk side on me, man. To me, bro, it's not worth it, man. Wasting that unnecessary money trying to keep upgrading every single year. They coming out with these phones like that, so I don't know how some of y'all be keeping up with it, bro.
Disneyland animatronic malfunctions. This is Walt Disney, and his animatronic was Lean With It, Rockin' With It. There's a video of another malfunction of this exact animatronic at the end, and it is super creepy. I don't know why this animatronic freaks me out so bad. It looks so extremely human. I don't like it. Also, there is a rumor that Walt Disney's soul inhabits it. You know all the rumors of, like, Walt Disney's body is cryogenically frozen on Disneyland, or, like, his body is there somewhere. This animatronic holds his soul. And that's why it keeps breaking down, because he does not want to be an animatronic, which I do not blame him. I would not want to be either. But those eyes are extremely realistic, and I am frightened. This is what it's supposed to move like. Like, the movements are extremely fluid, like creepily so. They look super, super human.
They
Watch
do.
this video of this malfunction, and it just stops working, just like out of nowhere. I don't know why this creeps me out so bad. Does it scare you also? And what do you think about his soul being trapped inside it? Could you imagine? Just like stuck for all eternity, having to perform like a dancing monkey. Like, no, I don't like the thought of it. So, like, his soul is trying to rebel and be like, I don't want to do this. And so it just keeps breaking down. Watch this and let me know what you're thinking.
Yeah, Five Nights at Freddy vibes, bro. Those animatronics. It looks too fluid, bro. Oh, he glitched out. Heard him say, uh-oh.
Are we living in some sort of simulation or matrix? Why do I ask? Because there's a viral video that's floating around the internet that shows a lunar eclipse. And once the eclipse occurs, you see multiple moons in the sky. You haven't seen the video, take a look at this. Look at this right here. Watch as they zoom in. There's the eclipse right there. And there are 3 other moons present in this video.
4K.
Is that some sort of reflection? What is going on? I paused the video right here because you can see right up there, that is the actual moon being covered during the eclipse. What are the other 3 moons that are in front of it? Here it is fully blown up for you as clear as I can get it. As you can see, the eclipse is right there in the background. What are these other 1, 2, 3 moons that are in the frame? I run the video to see if it was AI. I put it through Gronk and through ChatGPT. Both came back saying that the video is real and was recorded somewhere in Europe or in Russia. So what did we just see on that video? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and as always, I'd love to hear from you.
This woman has spent the last 3 years building an entire tunnel system under her house. And yes, she has neighbors. You see, initially, Carla only set out to build a storm shelter under her property in Virginia. But instead of hiring a team of professionals with 0 qualifications, Carla set out starting hand mixing her own concrete, laying down hundreds of blocks. She blasted through multiple jackhammers. She built a freaking elevator to haul out more than 200 tons of rock. She installed pumps for excess water and even had to build a ventilation system so she didn't suffocate down there. I mean, one small mistake playing IRL Minecraft can literally mean death. That's why it's even more mind-blowing when you find out that not only is she doing all of this work by herself, spending 50 to 100K of her own money so far, but also she works in freaking IT. She's entirely self-taught. Is this what happens when you realize you have free will? And what makes this story even crazier is that she's not digging underneath some isolated house. She lives in a normal neighborhood. And actually, this freaked a lot of them out because, I don't know, sinkholes reaching the netherworld, angering the nether moth. So I guess it makes sense that one of her curtain-twitching neighbors snitched.
We have some complaints. Basically, there's some construction going on.
And in December 2023, local authorities turned up to her house. They inspected her tunnels, declared them unsafe, and ordered her to halt construction. Oh, but the government had no idea who they were up against. She taught herself how to mine. Paperwork and legal code? That's some wind-down bedtime reading. So she went to war for over a year, and I cannot stress this enough. She somehow won and got the government to allow an unqualified individual to dig tunnels as a hobby underneath a suburban neighborhood. This woman needs to run for president because I believe she can achieve anything. Her permits were approved in March, and today the tunnels continue. Next, she says that she'll be using the 2,000-year-old stone blocks to build a castle. And she'll probably get approval to build it on top of the freaking White House.
Say goodbye to your
Yeah.
who live in the UK. Data protection on Apple devices is one of their biggest things. You know your data is safe, but not for long in the UK. It's been in talks for a long time now, but basically UK governments wanted a backdoor into Apple devices so that your data wasn't fully encrypted and they could access it, for the reason that they could then track criminals and see their text messages and things like that without it being protected. But of course, data protection is one of Apple's biggest things that they pride themselves on. That's why they're so big. But this tool was actually removed so that your data isn't actually as protected as it was before. In recent days, there's been reports on the government actually walking back and backtracking on this backdoor demand after meetings with Trump and the US. The UK also have said that Apple hold too much power by completely controlling the market. So by pushing people in the UK away from Apple would let other developers compete fairly while having strong protection still. But Apple have said you wouldn't be protected as much, and it's a huge data risk to citizens of the EU because they would be going to other parties external from Apple and it wouldn't be protected. So I'm not sure what's going to happen. I'll keep you posted, but let me know your thoughts.
Y'all, I don't know what timeline we in, but all I know is shit is getting dark. This lady walked inside. I think this is a hospital. She walked up to this lady. The lady gets up from her chair to greet her, and she tries to bite her, y'all. I'm talking about take a chunk out of her neck or her head, something. All I know is she tried to bite her, y'all. I'm gonna play the video. Y'all look at this shit. Y'all let me know what y'all think.
Let's break this down.
This shit, y'all.
This ain't The Walking Dead. What the hell?
Like what? Bruh. What are you doing in this situation?
What she did?
Is that a demon or witch? Which one? That shit is crazy, fool. I don't know what's going on right now, y'all. Y'all let me know what y'all think she was. A witch? A demon? Like what? What would make someone walk up like that and just try to bite somebody? A zombie? She didn't look like a zombie though.
You guys heard of the Nazca mummies? Yeah, so this is in Nazca, Peru. 2015, they found 200 mummified remains, a couple dozen of which were fully intact, but they're these humanoid-looking creatures that have 3 fingers on each hand and 3 toes on each. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, it's just super weird, and they've done a ton of studies on these things. They did like a DNA sampling from one of its, or a couple of their flesh or whatever, and 30% of their genetic makeup is identified as something on this earth that can be identified as something, so the rest is not. Or is it the other way around? So a lot of these creatures, they still had their organs inside of them. So they did these CT scans, and one of them that they call Maria, they said it was pregnant, but it looked like it had like 3 eggs inside of it. But near the cave where they found these, they found a petroglyph of this creature that has 3 fingers on each hand. And then a lot of their art, they talk about the sky people. And so the theory is that they made these giant things in the dirt.
Yeah, to talk to
The cave, or even like a landing strip for these things.
Part of their history, part of their culture.
Y'all remember when I told y'all to watch out for the eggs and the chickens, right? Now people are reportedly popping up with giant parasites inside of their eggs. This looked like a 2-foot tapeworm that it came out of an egg that a woman was boiling. And this is not the only incident where there's parasites that is coming out of people's eggs. What is going on with our food source? First the chickens catch the bok clap, then the prices of eggs go up, and not only are the prices of eggs go up, now they got little friends inside of them. There are multiple people that are popping up and showing that they have live specimens inside of their eggs. So please check your eggs before you consume them. You might have little creatures in them. And I'm not telling y'all to completely stop eating eggs, but before you consume them, you might want to put them under a microscope for further investigation. But y'all let me know in the comments what y'all think about these parasites that's popping up all over in people's eggs. in the comments. Like and follow for more wisdom and stay tuned. And if you want to learn on how people are getting paid residual income from content creation, comment down below 18 and I'm going to send it back in your DMs. Be aware of the bok clap.
Check your eggs.
They're gonna start getting the mark of the beast.
Oh.
Yeah.
Today I'm gonna get a microchip planted in my hand.
But it was some Asian guy, right? And this is his thought process. Whenever he gets like Uber Eats from his apartment, you know we have the fob key? Yeah. Sometimes I forget it, right? So I'm gonna put the microchip in my phone, right? So now he's like, oh, sometimes I do leave my phone. What is actually always on myself? So he's like, yes. And there's a video, them planting the needle in it, and he goes into his elevator, goes like this.
Programming is done now, let's go try it out. So now shape up the top of my hand and select my flow.
Look, the mark of the beast, look.
It's not that serious.
It's not that serious.
It's not that serious. You can wear a necklace.
Yeah.
Well, there's so much. You can wear a ring, bro.
See, cause it's happening right in front of us, bro. I'm gonna put a microchip inside of itself just so he can order Uber Eats faster and get it faster. Really? I ain't getting that chip.
AI-powered assassination drones combining facial recognition with miniaturized explosives represent what experts call humanity's most dangerous technological development since nuclear weapons. Unlike traditional weapons requiring human operators who can hesitate or refuse orders, these autonomous systems eliminate human judgment from kill decisions entirely. Commercial drones, facial recognition software, and precision components are readily available and becoming cheaper every month. A single operator could deploy thousands of these systems simultaneously against journalists, activists, politicians, or anyone who challenges powerful interests. Security experts warn this could end democratic society by making traditional protection obsolete and giving authoritarian regimes unprecedented assassination capabilities. The implications extend beyond warfare to threaten open discourse itself. When anyone can be eliminated autonomously, public participation in democracy dies. International AI safety researchers are desperately calling for immediate global treaties before this technology becomes widely deployed by state and non-state actors. The window for prevention is rapidly closing as technical barriers decrease and components become more accessible worldwide. When autonomous killing machines become as common as smartphones, what happens to human civilization?
At David's concert tonight, he finally spoke out for the first time since the body was found in his Tesla. And what David said has a lot of people mad. And a lot of people thought that David was going to end up canceling his show tonight in Minneapolis because the majority of people think that David is innocent. However, he was just dropped from his Hollister and Crocs collab, which led a lot of people to believe that he isn't actually innocent. And even more worser, ever since David's car was towed about 6 to 7 days ago, there was a body found decomposing in the front trunk of this Tesla, to which a lot of people are saying that there is no way that David would do this, as he has literally been on tour for the past few weeks, where the car, although is in David's name, was found abandoned in LA. When it was found in the tow lot, people were saying that it had a stinky, fishy coochie smell. And now there has allegedly been another body found in a different car in LA, and this is where it gets even more insaner. Tonight, when David was performing in my city of Minnesota, after not canceling his show, when he initially came out and performed, he literally just acted like nothing was wrong. And then it finally got to a part of the show where he was talking to the crowd. And what I saw, he literally did not talk about the car at all. This is all alleged. I believe David's innocent, but do you?
You guys ever heard of the green line test? No. Okay, so there's this theory that in pictures of couples, if you draw a line that splits straight through their body, one line will be leaning toward the other line. So the theory goes, whoever is the line that's leaning toward the other will get their heart broken by the other. Some examples are Steph Curry and Aisha Curry.
Yeah, she's almost leaning away, too.
I think they broke it down to a science.
Another example, Tom Brady and Giselle.
The writing was on the wall.
Another example, Will Smith and Jada Pinkett.
That's a strong one. I think it's dead center on that one.
Another example, Kanye West and Kim Kardashian.
Man, that's a close one. You know, Kanye is Kanye.
And last but not least, the one that breaks my heart absolutely the most. Barack Obama and Michelle Obama.
Yeah, but they're still together.
It didn't say it has happened. It says it will happen.
I believe in them.
They strong Obamas.
I hope they prove it wrong.
If these aliens really do come out of the water, where's the pictures? Where's the video? What? No evidence? How do you tell someone a public story but keep the documents private? TikTok, my video is for entertainment purposes only. Do you want to know what the elites try to tell all of us when they say these aliens coming out of the water? Are you ready for this? If I told you this is connected to black people, we have 4 elements on this planet, and black people represent the water element. You ever wonder why black people can dance so good? Seem like they just move and flow like water? What if I told you black people do not belong on this planet, but we belong in the ocean, and we've been trying to escape for the longest? DreamWorks logo is trying to tell us what happened. There is a group of aliens that pulled us from the ocean. And now that we had a second moon, it's going to try to pull more of us from the water again. You think this was just an accident? They had some boys sitting on top of the moon pulling spirits out of the ocean? Our ancestors tried to warn us. Did you listen?
Wade in the water. Wade in the water, children. Wade in the water. Gods are gonna trouble the water. See that band all dressed in white. Gods are gonna trouble the water. The leader looks like the Israelite. Gods are gonna trouble.
Did anybody else's moon look like the way that Vegas's moon looked the other night? Because I've been looking for the moon here for a few nights and I haven't found it. So everybody else in Vegas was catching what appeared to be the moon, or what they're calling the moon, but it was changing, it was fluctuating. Like for instance, all right, check this out. This is all in one night, all right? Y'all see that, right? Now look at it. Y'all see that? Why is it darker now? The person said this changed within like 2 minutes. And then y'all see? Look at this. It's changed again, y'all. What is going on up in the sky?
I don't know if this is picking up very well, but our moon is blood red. And I mean blood red.
Do y'all see how big it is just sitting up there? And here's another video with, I don't know what this is over it. I don't know if it's a plane or UFO. It's got blinking lights, but again, this is Vegas.
Bro, it's a red moon right now. I don't know where y'all at, but in Las Vegas it's red.
Take a look at this shot of the moon just sitting in the skyline of Las Vegas, y'all. Look how eerie this thing looks. Look how eerie this thing looks, y'all. What the, bro, this is crazy. And the fact of the matter is that the moon isn't even here in Florida. Does everybody have a different moon? But yeah, y'all, did anybody else see the moon? Let me know down in the comments below, y'all. Like, follow, share for more videos like this. Let's ship this here. Let's continue to get it. Peace out.
The disturbing facts at the top left are responsible for the Columbine High School shooting, which at the time was the worst high school shooting in American history and killed 12 students and 1 teacher.
Pictures, man. They always tell a story.
This starts drawing people hanging from his room on the ceiling. Like people hanging from the ceiling in his room. When the dad asks what's he's drawing, the boy replies, "That's just my friend, the hanging man." He said, "I see him every night. He just hangs there in my room and sometimes bothers my stuff." So of course the dad's like, "Oh, it's just an imaginary friend, right?" Or maybe he just saw this in a movie or something. By the way, since you're watching me eat pizza and I'm making you suffer, your third act has to buy you a full pizza. He then erases the kid's drawing, tells him to draw it again. The kid then draws the man up close. It's just his head hanging from the ceiling, with tears coming out of his eyes. The boy explains to his father, "Yeah, I see him crying some nights. I see him with tears coming down his eyes." This is where things get crazy. The dad sets up a camera in the boy's room. This is what he catches.
What the?
Extinct animals, scientists are close to reviving. Firstly, the woolly mammoth. It was believed to have gone extinct 25,000 years ago, but scientists discovered hundreds that just died recently. So they're planning to put its DNA inside African elephants, and they expect to bring them back in the next 5 years. Next, dodo birds were hunted to extinction 400 years ago, but a preserved head was recently discovered. By mixing that DNA with a maned pigeon, dodo birds should be coming back in 15 years. Finally, expect to see saber-toothed tigers outside soon, because scientists discovered DNA preserved in tar pits, and they plan to combine it with African lions. So this 10-inch toothed beast should be coming back in 10 years.
Nah, that's throwing off the ecosystem.
Here is the creepiest place on Earth. The island of Dead Dolls is located on the canals of Mexico City. It has widely been deemed one of the most haunted places on Earth. Why? 1,500 dolls hung on trees. The story goes a Mexican man was traveling on the canals when he found a dead girl next to the banks of a river. The man found a doll next to her and pinned it on a tree out of respect for the little girl. When he got home, he heard voices of spirits beckoning him to come back to the island with more dolls. The man then spent the rest of his life, 50 years, bringing 1,500 dolls to the island. The man died in 2001, but he left behind an island that's visited by thousands of tourists each year. So what do you think? Would you go to this island?
See, cause should I go to the island of dolls, man? It sounds like some very dark energy over there, so that's somewhere, a place I will be avoiding, man. Try to pay your sex, man, but you start hearing voices, turn to something else. We'll not be going there.
Strangest jobs that actually exist. First is a professional mourner. It's a tradition in Southeast Asia that a loud funeral will assist the dead as they travel to the afterlife. So professional mourners are hired to cry and weep loudly throughout the service. Next is a dog food taster, and they're used to ensure that the food that's prepared for dogs is of high quality and taste. And they work with all types of dog foods and treats, and on average they make about $40,000 a year. Next is a professional screamer, and most of the screams you hear in movies are done by professional screamers, so actors and actresses don't hurt their vocal cords. There are many different types of screams they have, like a quick scare to a blood-curdling scream, and they make an average of $64,000 per year. Next is a professional snuggler. Professional snugglers offer comfort to people who feel lonely, depressed, have medical problems, or have suffered severe trauma. They have a wide variety of cuddling styles for different people and their needs, and they get paid anywhere from $20 to $40 per hour.
5 deadly.
We see that before on YouTube.
Part 2. Kangaroos are responsible for 90% of animal-related car accidents, making them the deer of down under. Difference is, deer aren't built like somebody that'll put you in the ER and make love to your wife after. Number 4 is the most lethal thing with feathers, the cassowary. Because those daggers can tear flesh, open arteries, and slice your intestines out with one maliciously placed kick. If they weren't shy, it would get bad. Magpies are anything but shy. These flying black air forces will attack people and assaults that could blind the victim. And since they can remember your face for 5 years, beefing with an angry bird is signing a max contract of abuse. At number 2 is the most venomous fish on the planet and master rock impersonator, the stonefish. Accidentally step on them and they'll shoot venomous spines through your skin, which can flatline you in 2 hours. Symptoms include extreme pain, respiratory weakness, paralysis, and an obituary. Number 1 is the Irukandji jellyfish. Not because they can revoke your birth certificate in 2 minutes, but because they're so small you would never see it coming. One of the symptoms of getting stung is an impending feeling of doom, which causes some patients to beg the doctors to end them just to get it over with. Most stings aren't fatal, but I would still deep throat a cactus before I go swimming in the ocean.
Here's 3 reasons why you should never visit the dark web.
Amen.
The dark web is the part of the internet that isn't available on search engines such as Google. Government agencies say it's a heaven for criminal activity. You may see things that you can't ever forget. Some people have had to have therapy after accidentally clicking on the wrong links, damaging their psychological state forever. You can easily get hacked. If you don't know how to properly use the dark web, then your identity can be exposed to both criminals and the police. In the UK in 2017, there were 1,210 drug busts related to the dark web. Terrorism. Anti-terrorism authorities have uncovered multiple instances of terrorist groups using the dark web to coordinate their actions. Stay safe.
I'm never going on the dark web. Stay away from that part of the net.
Houses in the world. This is the Mirror Cube. It is completely camouflaged and you'll never be found. If you go on a walk through the forest, you need to leave a light on in order to find it on your way back.
Oh.
This is the bird's nest. You just climb up that little ladder up into the top, and then there's little portholes on the inside that will let you look out. This is the ghost house. It was designed this way after being used as a prison and a funeral home to represent all the ghosts that apparently reside here. This is Spitbank Fort. It was once a fort and now a luxury private island house. This is the Upside Down House. No one actually lives in this house, but you can get some great photos from it.
Wow.
This is the Sky Sphere, the ultimate smart treehouse. The dude who built this didn't even know how to weld, he just Googled his way to building it. He uses his fingerprint to get in, and everything is either voice activated or phone controlled. This is including the beer dispenser integrated into the armrest. He spent 3,000 hours and $60,000 to build this. This is the toilet house. It is a house shaped like a toilet.
Animals
okay.
eat humans. Komodo dragons. Piranhas. Crocodiles. Jaguars. African driver ants.
They humans?
Bears. Lions. Catfish. Wolves. Tigers. Cheetahs.
Okay.
Hyenas. Sharks. Dogs.
Dogs? What the fuck?
Polar bears. Snakes. Cats.
I've heard stories about cats.
Sloth bears. Creepiest kid toys that were banned. Time monsters. There was a hidden message inside the time monsters that says, turn off the TV. Evil stick. Hidden behind the foil that shows a demonic young girl. Cabbage Patch Kids. The doll almost ripped out a girl's hair. Potty time with Elmo. The Elmo toy was saying who wants to die.
Glitches?
And Kudal. The door was saying Islam is the light. Sky dancers. It flew in random, unpredictable directions, which injured children and adults.
Did any of I had any of those toys growing up? I remember the Cabbage Patch, I think, Kid Dolls commercials or Potty Time with Elmo. That's it, man. Like I said, our childhood, bro. Once we kids, we don't recognize what's really going on, but as you get older, you realize, man, some weird and dangerous stuff was going on back then.
This lady is a real-life human devil. This 93-year-old woman from China actually has a horn growing out of her head. Everyone in her village fears and outcasts her. But with all the attention she's been getting, she's actually able to make a living out of it. She's tried cutting it off multiple times, but nothing has worked. And now there's a second horn growing out of her head.
Okay, what the hell is that? The horn woman or lady?
Why do guys never block their exes? Facts about exes you've never been told. The last one will surprise you. After a breakup, guys generally take longer to move on compared to girls. If your ex comes back sometime after your separation, it's because he hasn't found anyone better. Now, TikTok knows who you're going to fall in love with, and it's the second person you see when you click on share, then on the plus button. It's strange because when you were together, he didn't block his exes, but as soon as you break up, he blocks you instantly. If your ex texts you, it's not because he misses you. It's to see if he can still manipulate you. Comment, "Why do I?" and let your keyboard complete the sentence with suggestions. If your ex sees another girl shortly after you broke up, then he never really loved you. If you subscribe to me, my profile picture will turn black. Before this last fact, don't forget to subscribe and like the video to learn something new every day. 80% of people continue to spy on their ex after the breakup.
Terrifying things found in abandoned places.
That
A YouTuber by the name of Urbex Hill was exploring an abandoned school when he soon realizes that he wasn't alone. Just watch this clip and be warned.
You gotta be brave to do that.
There was a man living inside of the abandoned school. What would you do if you stumbled upon a man living inside of an abandoned school? Follow for more videos.
Dude, what he did, hit the jets.
Disneyland park you're forbidden to go to. This park is called Discovery Island. This is located in the middle of Disney World's Bay Lake, and it's only accessible by boat. The purpose of Discovery Island was to showcase different birds and protect wildlife, and it was housing 500 different endangered species. There was free roaming birds, animal shows, treetop walking, and even had alligator swamps. But the island had to close this park on April 4th, 1999, and now you're not even allowed to get within 50 feet of it. Now there's many reasons why it closed. There was free-roaming alligators, which is extremely dangerous. And there was a deadly bacteria found in the park's waters.
Telling the stories
Oh,
of TikTokers as if they're true crime cases. This is the tale of Brittany Broski. Brittany was a young woman living out in Texas in 2019 when she created a video that changed everything. This was not a normal video. In the video, she can be seen drinking kombucha with an array of reactions and faces of disgust. Following the fame of the video on Stan Twitter, Brittany was subsequently fired from her job, leading her out to California with an accomplice named Sarah Shower. It was around this time that they both crossed paths with a woman named Tracy Martell. Tracy had taped numerous videos with Brittany as the subject where she can be seen repeatedly scalping her on camera. It's believed Brittany survived the ordeal, although no one knows of her current whereabouts. She's most recently been spotted in a series of videos that seem to be confined to one room, although police have no way of knowing if this is a bunker or if she's being held here. And Tracy Martell has never been caught.
Whoa, so she's the one who made that face like.
Here are some foods that
Dark
are now
stories.
discontinued. The popular fruit yogurt snack Yogos disappeared from the market in 2010 following low demand, as well as Shark Bites in 2014 after a flavor change ruined the taste. Haribo sugar-free gummy bears were canned in 2015 after discovering the sweetener they used caused explosive diarrhea. Sometimes it's worth it though. Lime Skittles were canned in 2013 and Mars replaced the lime flavor with green apple, which actually caused a ton of protests. Taco Bell's Mexican pizza was taken off the menu in 2020 due to environmental concerns, though a wave of protests led to its revival in 2022. Sadly, the same can't be said about McDonald's snack wrap. After being a menu staple for many years, it was removed in 2016 with no warning. Oreo Cakesters were removed from the shelves in 2013 after relatively low demand. Easy Square took the market by storm with its Shrek collab in 2000, but it was pulled from the shelves in 2006 after creative differences. Many people refuse to believe this, but Spearmint and Cinnamon Tic Tacs were discontinued a few years ago as well. Other retired candies include Cream Savers in 2012, Butterfinger BBs in 2006, and Nestle Wonder Balls in 2004. And the Kudos Bar also had their run end in 2017. Oreo O's were gone for a long time, but apparently they're making a comeback. Same with Trix Yogurt, which was gone for about 6 years, but is rumored to be back on the shelves. And same with Dunkaroos, which were brought back in 2020 for a second run. And lastly, Cheetos Twisted Puffs left us in 2012, but at least we still have spicy Cheetos.
Whatever you do, do not.
Half of those foods, man. I remember, especially the Yogos. I remember as a kid. I don't like with the Yogos. You see that, but we don't see that no more. The Twisted Puffs. That's true. You don't see that no more, man. It's kind of interesting, man. Like how you go into stores, but you don't even notice like the things you go up with, how they just slowly just fade off and off the market. But now, like I said, some of them making a comeback. I still see Oreo Cakesters. I remember the snack wrap off from McDonald's. Yeah, that's been gone. I remember when people were mad about that, but that's crazy. You guys remember any of those snacks that got discontinued? Some of them shocked me.
Dolls right here. They're called timeout dolls and they're creepy. And if you don't believe me, just listen to this story. There was this girl and she was babysitting and they had one of these timeout dolls in the house.
Guys, I'm babysitting and I just found the creepiest. Look at this. What is that? Oh my god.
She was like mimicking what the doll looks like, but then something so scary happened.
Oh god.
Something was running, and it looked just like the doll. And I think if it wasn't for this mirror, nobody would have seen it, but this girl has not posted since.
Definitely saw some moving in the background. Is that a doll or a kid?
Celebrities that are evil, Part 3.
Billie Eilish.
Who's on this list, man?
Rihanna. Taylor. Cardi B. Dua Lipa.
What is it with celebrities when they do that sound like this? It's like they're playing it right in front of our face.
Zayn Malik,
Yeah, that sound has to mean something, man.
Gal Gadot, Jad Smith, Britney Spears.
Jaden Smith on that thing too?
Imagine spending 18 years in prison for
You guys
something
think?
you never did. In 1995, Daniel Villegas was only 18 years old when he was wrongfully convicted of a double homicide. It all happened in 1993 when two teens were walking home from a party when a car came up behind them and shot them and killed both of them. Daniel was brought in for questioning and the detectives threatened to beat him and give him the death penalty if he refused to confess. Keep in mind that Daniel was only 16 years old at the time, so he was easily manipulated. He was also coerced to sign a confession that was prepared by the detectives. After he realized what he'd done, he tried to withdraw his confession, but at that point, it was too late. Daniel was sentenced to life in prison until 2018. This is the moment his case was acquitted and he became a free man at the age of 38.
If the defendant will please stand. This is the moment that Villegas will find out if he'll go home with his family or be sent back to prison to serve his life sentence. The state of Texas versus Daniel Villegas. Verdict form B. We, the jury, find the defendant Daniel Villegas not guilty of...
I got chills watching that video, man. Imagine you spend all that time for something you didn't do.
Animals you didn't know exist. This is a Venezuelan poodle moth. It was discovered in 2009. It is known for its cuddly, cute looks, and it looks kind of like a Pokemon. It uses the fur on its body to sense and smell things. Would you keep it as a pet? Speaking of pets, I've been taking care of this little guy during quarantine. If you also want your little cat pet, link is in my bio.
Psychology hacks you need to know. If someone is trying to make you decide something in a hurry, they're most likely giving you a bad deal, and you should just walk away. If a person is trying to intimidate you, stare at their forehead with a blank expression. This will psychologically make them self-conscious. Chewing gum when you're nervous really does help because your brain thinks, I'm eating, so I must not be in danger. If you want to know if someone is interested in what you're saying, cross your arms. If they cross their arms too, this is called mirroring, and it actually means they're interested in the conversation. If you need to remember to do something tomorrow, just put something in your room out of place. The next day, you'll see this item out of place, and you'll remember why you put it there. Finally, if two people are arguing, stand in between them and eat something. It'll help alleviate the tension.
Really? It's that useful fat hacks, man.
Let's talk about this picture. Captured in 2008 by Daniel Young, this is one of the only pieces of evidence that this encounter actually happened. So Daniel was a custodian at Myrtle Elementary School where he worked the night shift. It's a pretty routine night. He's just listening to music when he's suddenly interrupted by the sound of a woman's laughter. He turned around and was terrified when he saw an unknown woman smiling from behind the corner. This was a locked school on after hours, so clearly she was an adult who broke in, so he tried to snap a picture to identify her and then chases after her. But when he turned the corner, she had already darted out of an emergency exit. Later that night, police are called to a home where they arrived at a tragedy. An unknown woman had broken into a nearby home where she knifed two parents, one who was the principal of this school, so brutally they were unrecognizable. One of the daughters who witnessed this woman before she got away described her as this person. Could this photo be of the same unknown woman? And what her connection is to the school and the principal, we don't know.
Hey, Link, man. Great case. Toy Stories in real life.
Would you ever robot me?
New fear unlocked.
Mm-mm.
Gotta be careful here.
What do you got? Oh, he's trying to lure him in.
Well, that puts an end to my tarpon fishing.
Oh.
Wow.
Throw the rod and hit the jets.
Get back.
here are the weirdest and most unbelievable creatures to ever wash up on the beach, part 2. First, in 2016, a group of fishermen stumbled across this huge 176-pound smelly thing that looked a lot like a rock. At first, they didn't think much of it, but shockingly, it was actually whale vomit, which is used to formulate luxury fragrances. Which means whale vomit can be sold at very high prices. This 176-pound chunk of the stuff was valued at $3 million.
Damn.
Next, in July of 2018, this creature that looks like a demon was found washed up on the shores of Montauk, New York. Supposedly, the creepy-looking carcass for some reason wasn't available for autopsy as it was carted away by an unknown group of people. Many have speculated it might be the mutant product of experimentation at the controversial Plum Island Animal Disease Center, which is near where the creature was found.
What? I'm about to say that looked like, yeah, like a hybrid or something, man. And that's right next to that disease center, and they experimenting, man, trying to make some animals. And in this world today, bro, you never know. Whoa. They're really trying to just dumped it on if you can see.
Creepy facts I bet you didn't know, part 1. Doctors originally invented the chainsaw for childbirth. 4,400 unidentified bodies are found every single year. There's over 18.6 million vacant homes in the United States. In 1800, dentures were made from the teeth of the deceased. The Devil's Bible is a real thing. It's called the Codex Gigas.
Whoa. Dentures made by real teeth in 1800? Using the dead person's teeth? We did some weird things back in the day.
To summon a guardian angel who will grant your deepest wishes, first draw this symbol on your hand. Now draw a line and a loop around your wrist like handcuffs. Now make your hand into a fist and dip it in a bowl of water. Now take out your hand and place it over your eyes. Now move your hand and open your eyes, and your guardian angel will appear before you to grant you any wish. But be careful, as some can't handle what they see when they open their eyes. Are you brave enough to try this? Then heart this video and follow my account.
Oop, I never do any of those type of rituals or anything. I'm good.
What would you do if somebody offered you $3,000 to let your child try out a new playground? They tell you you're not allowed to tell anybody about this beforehand and you can't disclose the location of where I'm taking you. But they give you $1,000 up front and you get the other $2,000 after your child starts playing on the playground. You see, this is a trap because the playground is designed in order to hurt as many young ones as possible, or even to unalive them. This is the story of Aaron Beauregard's playground. The story follows a bunch of lower income families that are tricked into doing this, and it's about all these young ones trying to survive the playground. It's obviously a horror novel, but I've heard a lot of people talking about it on TikTok recently, and I decided to pick it up. I've seen almost everyone unanimously agree that they can't get past page 40. I'm going to read the whole book, but I'll give you an update on here once I get to 40. So I'm on page 41 now. Would not recommend reading that while you're eating. I see why that page made some people stop reading, but not in the way that I thought it would be. I'm going to finish the book, though.
This is the true story.
These people do for money.
The Vatican has held the head of a possessed nun for over 300 years. In 1742, a nun named Josephine Rosenthal appeared pregnant. Josephine became frustrated when she claimed that she had not had relations with a man. As a result of this, tests were performed which determined that she was still a virgin, and it was determined that she was a divine case. Josephine lost her life when she gave birth to a baby girl named Maria Rosenthal. Maria became the object of ridicule by nuns and priests because she was a hermaphrodite, and people perceived her as a demonic being for having such a condition. In view of this, church leaders came up with a plan to take Maria's life at the same age as Jesus at 33 years old, to make her death seem divine. This plan reached Mary's ears, so she decided to take her own life. After that, the priests ordered her head to be removed and embalmed in a box with a cross. After her death, Maria began to give paranormal apparitions in the convent.
This is the scariest photo ever taken, and I'll explain why. In 2009, this photo began circulating on the internet. No one knew where it came from or who uploaded it. This is the Cooper family. They took this photo after moving into their new home in Texas. But when they got the photo developed, something eerie appeared in the photo. This is the full photo. Excuse me, that is straight up a ghost in your photo.
What?
They got photobombed by a ghost. No, but seriously, they were horrified when they got this photo developed. House. So they think that's the previous owner. I can't even stare at it. This photo literally gives me the chills.
Make sure you
Has to
guys
be, right?
like and follow for more spooky content. Also, you can follow me on YouTube. Link in bio.
Imagine seeing that in a picture.
Don't ever speak to the shadow people. To speak to the shadow people, all you need to do is draw the symbol on a piece of paper. Or stand in a well-lit room where you can see your shadow on the floor in front of you. Now place the symbol directly on top of your shadow and say, "From the darkness I welcome you here," one time. You have now allowed the shadow entity into yourself. You can ask it any questions that you'd like. But be warned, the shadow people can make you incredibly lucky in life or completely ruin it. Are you brave enough to try this? Then heart this video and follow my account.
No! Is that a platypus?
Platypus is probably the weirdest animal that exists on Earth. It's like a duck mixed with a beaver with an otter's feet. They're also a mammal that lays eggs, and they're venomous, which is also weird for a mammal. And the way their venom works is wild. It's found in their back legs, and basically they just kick you and drive their spurs into you, which injects the venom. And scientists pretty much know nothing about their venom. There's no cures to it. And get this, when they jump in water, their eyes and their ears shut down, so they're pretty much deaf and blind. But it's cool because they can connect to the electromagnetic field of any creature, so they can hunt creatures by detecting their electrical pulses. Call me crazy, but that's a superpower. They also have no teeth, so when they need to chew, they just throw rocks in their mouth to grind up their food. And I don't know where the food goes, because they also don't have a stomach. Oh, and they also don't have nipples, but they have milk. It just comes out of their armpits. Moral of the story, if you ever feel weird, like you're an oddball,
this is the most dangerous man on the entire Earth. This guy right here is Mark Detroit, and what he did will genuinely leave you speechless. There's a lot of crazy crime and really disturbing stuff going on in the world at the moment, and this guy apparently was thought to be part of similar rings as well. So this guy's Mark Detroit and his wife Michelle Martin. In the 80s and 90s, he bought many houses in Belgium and would use each one as a separate dungeon, going out into the streets, getting people, bringing them back and doing things that I cannot speak about here, but full videos on my YouTube, go to the link in my bio. Underneath the home, he built a soundproof chamber so no one would hear a damn word, and went on to take many people, putting them under the ground and undergoing the most horrendous things ever. Eventually he was caught for doing R and other things to over 5 young people, and went to jail and got released within 3 years, and going back to do more, but this time, not leave anyone alive. No mother even called the police and said what he was doing. They didn't really do anything. Eventually going round while 2 people were in the basement, and they left. I can't talk about most of it on here, but go to my YouTube link in bio for the full thing.
Facts that will mess
Crazy
with your
story.
perception of time. Sharks are older than the rings of Saturn by hundreds of millions of years. If you were given $10,000 every single day since the pyramids were built, you would only have about 6% of Elon Musk's entire wealth. To give a clear picture of the difference between a million and a million seconds ago was a little over a week ago. A billion seconds ago was the year 1990. Jimmy Carter was the first president to be born in a hospital. Obama was the first president born under the same American flag he served as president under. Harriet Tubman was born in Thomas Jefferson's lifetime and died in Reagan's. There were Greek playwrights who wrote shows nearly 2,000 years before Shakespeare was even alive. Follow for more.
Well, Shakespeare was copy or something?
First, there's a lot about the type of person that you are. First of all, take a look at this photo right here. If you first of all notice 3 flying birds, that means you're a very adventurous person and are constantly looking for the next big thing. You're very motivated to following your hopes and dreams at any cost. If first of all you notice the face of a woman, this means you crave companionship and love being around people, and also potentially want to actually establish a relationship with someone pretty close to you right now. If you saw the trees first, that means you're a very relaxed and laid back person and you just go with the flow. Next up, take a look at this photo right here. If you saw the trees first, you trust your gut and always follow your own intuition. Not a very trusting person and will always go off what's best for yourself. However, if you saw the tiger first, you're a very open-minded person, but very strong-minded as well. Once you set your mind to something, no one's telling you otherwise. This photo right here. You saw the trees first, you could potentially be a little bit narrow-minded. You like being comfortable in one area, which isn't a bad thing, and are just comfortable in one position with your group of people. However, if you saw the skyscrapers, you like to think big, follow your dreams, and like to be completely outside of your comfort zone at all times.
Where'd you guys see Seekers on those pictures, man? I definitely saw the tiger, I saw the trees, and I saw the 3 birds lining up perfectly, so That's the way I have some of those treats. You guys see anything else, man? Because I know everybody's not gonna see the same thing. That's an edit. Call out how we see it, man.
Test your phobia. Thalassophobia.
I'm okay. Guess that's the fear of water, right? Deep, dark water. I don't think that affects me very much. I'm cool. Damn. I think it did that. Like I said, the fear of water, I don't.
Gruesome facts you didn't know, part 156. This photo, taken by a PetSmart employee in Arizona, shows a freezer overflowing with the bodies of dead animals due to understaffing. Another employee reported that cutting corners has led to hamsters eating their young after giving birth. As a last-ditch effort defense mechanism, the horned lizard can actually shoot blood from its eyes. After the Battle of Waterloo in 1815, looters, scavengers, and even surviving soldiers were taking teeth out of dead soldiers left on the battlefield. They would sort them into sets and then sell them to dentists who would boil them, cut off the roots, and shape them into dentures.
That's insane, bro. Using dead people's teeth as dentures.
Random facts about Australia because I just love y'all that much. The word selfie came from Australia. It was first used by Aussie man Nathan Hope when he posted a picture after he busted his ass while drinking. There's more kangaroos than people. Since kangaroos are the white-tailed deer of down under, it's common to eat kangaroo meat. I've actually had a kangaroo burger, and it was not bad. All are home to the most venomous snake, fish, octopus, spider, which I didn't even bother putting here, one of the few venomous mammals, and the most dangerous bird in the world. That doesn't compare to the most venomous thing of all. Because the most venomous things in the world, the box jellyfish and the irukandji, are from Australia. Somehow, with all the dangerous animals in Australia, the one responsible for the most names on Twitter bios, horses and cows. Y'all are so afraid of spiders and snakes, but a horse is more likely to kick your lights out. But it's not all bad. I do have the happiest animal in the world, the quokka. Fun fact, really happy fact actually, they're not endangered. They're vulnerable, so they're not 100% safe, but they're definitely not going extinct. Which is great because Rottnest gets about $4 million in tourism every year, and the quokka selfie is a big reason why. Australia also has the longest fence in the world at 3,488 miles. Supposed to keep rabbits out, but I guess they forgot rabbits can dig.
I've seen my fair share of cults, and this one
Crazy
is pretty
facts.
weird. This cult calls themselves the Cult of Mother God, and it's run by this woman here, Amy Carlson. She calls herself Mother God, creator of the universe, and she pretty much believed that she was being controlled by the spirit of Robin Williams himself, and not only him, but she could also channel information from other celebrities who weren't alive and even were alive, Donald Trump. But yeah, like Steve Irwin, Carrie Fisher, MJ. With everything in her, she believed that all this advice she was giving people was coming from Robin Williams himself. Her parents claimed she was a straight-A student, and sometime between 2000 and 2007, she meets a man named White Eagle as she was frequenting a website called lightworkers.org. She's pretty much convinced she's a divine being by this man, and she leaves her husband, her job, and kids, moves to Colorado with this cult. They'd start posting in 2009 and would call themselves the Galactic Foundation of the Light. Amy's health starts declining very badly to where she starts losing weight. She's down to 103 pounds. And this cult believes that Robin Williams is going to come down in a spaceship and pick her up. She can't weigh over 103, and she's going to ascend. Her health continues to decline, and Robin Williamson is nowhere to be found. He doesn't show up in his spaceship. So this group spends about 12 days with her body. I forgot to mention, but she was last seen alive on April 10th of 2021. But yeah, police would eventually break in and find Amy's body, her face covered in glitter, body in a sleeping bag, wrapped in Christmas lights. Kind of like a shrine, they called it.
Man, cults are dangerous, bro. Especially when you meet somebody, man, it just changes your freaking perception of reality.
Most terrifying urban legends from around the world. In 1978, a girl named Catherine went missing after she heard strange noises coming from the woods behind her backyard. Her sister said Catherine heard the voice of their mother calling to her, but something about this voice sounded distorted and wrong. That was one of the first sightings of Siren Head, a tall humanoid creature with unusually long limbs and 2 siren speakers attached to his head with human mouths inside. This allows the Siren Head to play the voices of its victims' families to lure them in. This creature is usually found in rural places and small towns, making it easier to blend into the environment and disguise itself between the trees or as a telephone pole. So remember, next time you hear the voice of a family member coming from an unusual place, don't go investigating. And follow for more stories.
Siren Head, man. That's the first time I'm hearing the lore about that, so I guess we're out at night, especially when she say rural towns or something like that, areas you don't know. If you hear somebody call your name, family member, you never know. Someone's trying to something is trying to play a trick on your mind, man. Trying to lure you out there.
Allergy facts. 91% of people are no longer friends with someone they called their best friend. The person you think before you go to sleep is more likely to appear in your dreams. Unexpected texts from the person you care about can have a positive effect on your body and instantly improve your week.
Really? That makes sense.
These freak-offs, which involved groups of people performing sexual activities with each other, reportedly started in 2009. These parties were described as multi-day events involving heavy drug use, alcohol, and allegedly Diddy used force, threats, and coercion to make victims participate in these events. These substances that were used at these freak-offs were there to keep participants compliant, and basically it got people so intoxicated that they were sometimes taken advantage of. These freak-offs were held in rented hotel rooms and mansions in New York, LA, and Miami. But this is the thing, Diddy was so known and popular back in the early 2000s that everyone you can possibly think of was at his parties that he hosted. There's photos of A-list celebrities such as Kim Kardashian, Khloe Kardashian, and J-Lo, Leonardo DiCaprio, Jay-Z, Beyonce, Mariah Carey, Ashton Kutcher, Paris Hilton, and the list goes on. Now, were they all necessarily involved in these freak-offs? Not everyone, but it's been said that many of them were participating in these activities and some of them weren't but knew about it. And if they were involved in this back in the day, they don't want people to know now. And after all of this was released to the public, these celebrities have been really quiet and no one wants to speak on it at all.
Now if you want to hear
man, those Diddy freak-offs, man, I know that list, probably A-list celebrities. Speaking not just celebrities, sports players too, NBA players, NFLs. Because like I said, it was popular back in the 2000s. So everybody was at those parties, man. So we don't know who was doing what, man. Maybe some of them were, some of them wasn't. So that's just freaking insane, bro. Those Diddy freak-offs, man. When that whole lore or list gets revealed of who was doing what, some more people gonna be going down, man. I don't think it's just gonna be Diddy. What do you think?
Scary myth. This is one that actually turned out to be true. This was like way back in the day, but there was this infamous funhouse called Laugh in the Dark. Like any other kind of funhouse, ride, attraction that you would go through, it's supposed to scare you. And the whole thing about it was that it was filled with these creepy mannequins, but there was one mannequin that stuck out to everybody. All this time went by with kids who would go up to this mannequin and something seemed off about it because it was so oddly lifelike. Of course, strange mannequins aside, somebody was going to make a buck off this place. So there was a day when a film crew came in because they were going to shoot a movie. With all these mannequins and everything kind of lying around, they had to move things from one place to another. So the director said, can you pull that mannequin and put it to the side? Wait for the arm of the mannequin to snap off and reveal human bone. The entire time that kids and the public had been suspecting there was something off with that mannequin, they were right. It was a real human body being used in the funhouse.
This is a scary story about Do Not Open. There was an 18-year-old girl named Mia who was in her first year of college. She lived alone in an apartment near her university. One night when she was doing the dishes, she got a call from her friend Pete. She picked it up and he said, I'm bored, I want to hang out. Mia said, yeah, me too, come over. Pete then said he'll be over in 15 to 20 minutes. She then hung up and decided to take a shower. Mia was in the middle of shampooing her hair when she suddenly heard a loud banging on the door. She stuck her head out of the shower and said, come in, it's open. But a few minutes later, the banging on the door started again. She then stuck her head out of the shower again and said, come in, it's not locked. Just then, her phone started to ring, and it was Peter. Mia said, I'm in the shower, why don't you stop knocking and just come in? Peter's voice sounded extremely scared and he said, do not open the door. Mia said, why not? I'm outside your apartment building, whispered Peter. And I just saw a strange woman coming up the stairs to your apartment covered in blood and holding a knife.
And she was smiling weirdly and didn't look human at all.
You never know, man, who's lurking. Had the right access to her apartment. His girlfriend, man, warning her, bro.
The same day this guy was released from jail, he went and killed and then decapitated his mother. His name is Alejandro Gonzalez, and this happened in Arizona. The police did arrest the 25-year-old after he killed and decapitated his mother right before her birthday. This happened on September 27th after somebody called 911. When the police got to the scene, they found her decapitated. Her name was Teresa de Jesus Cruz Rubio. She failed to show up to her surprise birthday party. Obviously, her family got really worried and they found her door locked, so they had to call a locksmith to come and open it. It was unfortunate that they opened it and saw a horrible scene. Police found blood and knives everywhere, with the shower and sink still running as if somebody was trying to clean the evidence. Her vehicle was also missing, but surveillance camera footage caught her son driving it. Police found Alejandro Gonzalez the next day on September 28th and took him into custody for questioning. He was covered in blood and had bruises all over his hand. He was also in possession of his mother's stolen vehicle. He even admitted to decapitating and killing her as well. He also claimed someone else was involved, but there's no evidence that points to that right now. Let me know your thoughts about this case in the comment section below, guys.
If you're a kid, make sure you shower.
Insane.
This, my friends, is the skunk ape. Click the plus, drop a like, tag a friend, or he might find you. It is said that the skunk ape gets its name of its absolute disgusting odor, and its attraction to other very smelly odors. On top of that, its appearance resembling a massive ape. It is also said to be roaming around certain parts of Florida, so if you live there, I would definitely be careful. My question to you guys is, do you still not want to shower?
They made the freaking lore, bro, to get people to shower? That's
This is
insane.
one of the most haunted places I've ever been to, and I won't go in here alone. It's an old abandoned nursing home outside of Waco, Texas. And if you're wondering why it was shut down, it was because an elderly woman was left here in the parking lot in a locked van on a hot day, and she died. Abuse and other crimes against the elderly run rampant at nursing homes, and this place was no stranger to it. I went there for my YouTube channel a couple of years ago, and the video footage that I captured inside is shocking. I found a doll hanging by a noose. I heard the sounds of people inside the building and talking, and it looks like there's someone still there. Would you explore this place with me? Let me know below.
Nah, I stay away from that type of energy. You got it, bro. I don't know how those people do it.
Facts you didn't know about. If your immune system ever discovers that you have eyeballs, it's going to attack them until you go blind. At some point in time, a stranger has thought of killing you. If you're ever exposed to rabies and start to show symptoms, your survival chance is virtually 0%. You should never use bleach to clean up cat pee. The combination creates chlorine gas that is toxic. You are never 100% safe, no matter where you are or how you feel. If the sun exploded right now, you wouldn't know about it for another 8 minutes. There's a brain-eating amoeba that lives in lakes and rivers of the southern United States.
So because I'm back in like my Halloween thing right now, I was rewatching all of the Texas Chainsaw movies, and I was racking my brain because I'm like, I know this is somewhat based off of a true story. Thinking to myself, I know the movies have been sensationalized, but there's definitely a name behind this. So I did some research. Completely forgot about Ed Gein. This guy was the original inspiration behind Leatherface because of the things he did, and specifically the things he made. There's something like 17 years he was exhuming bodies. He was also making people disappear, if you know what I mean? Creating these morbid and grotesque items, leather items out of their skin. It's kind of eerie to think that his neighbors, people locally, they just didn't know who he was. He was just the isolated man who lived in an old house and stayed to himself. But if you do want more information on this, we're probably going to cover it in a Creep Time podcast.
You never know what somebody's capable of, man. Like I said, he was the guy who stayed to himself. And look what he was capable of, man.
Thanks to Warner Brothers for sponsoring this video. This October, the greatest villain of all time returns to theaters in Joker Folie à Deux. Joker Folie à Deux is a direct sequel to Joker, which is one of the greatest comic book movies of all time. But what made Joker different from the rest is that Joaquin Phoenix didn't just play the Joker, he became the Joker. Phoenix lost over 52 pounds for the role. He isolated himself during the preparation process and even improvised intense scenes like smashing the clock and his haunting dance scene in the bathroom. Phoenix went through an intense physical physical and psychological transformation to become the Joker. And it paid off, becoming the first R-rated movie to cross $1 billion at the box office. And luckily, the iconic character is returning to the big screen for Joker Folie à Deux, with Phoenix reprising his role as Arthur Fleck, and Lady Gaga taking on the role of Harley Quinn. This sequel dives even deeper into the mind of Joker and explores more of the dark, grounded Gotham universe that we want to see. And you can grab tickets now for Joker Folie à Deux, which hits theaters October 4th.
The goofiest serial...
Also, I had to stop there. Anybody guys see Joker Folie à Deux, man, we know that I heard it wasn't it, man, that people did not like it, and the ending was that let's just say it was bad. That's what I heard. I don't know. Tell me down below if you guys actually seen it. I would have checked that out.
Serial killer nicknames. This is Cayetano Santos Godinho, the teenage Argentinian serial killer. By the age of 16, he committed 4 murders, 5 arsons, 11 assaults, 1 attempted kidnapping, and the murder of 3 animals. He was also once jailed for chronic self-pleasuring, which was illegal at the time. This monster from Argentina was appropriately nicknamed the Big-Eared Midget.
The Big-Eared Midget? What the type of name is that?
These animals were recently discovered, and the last one is unbelievable. This first one is a wolf monk, and they're highly aggressive, and they eat everything. This is a crowilla. These are super intelligent creatures who swoop down and steal your food, but they write a thank you card after. This is a louse, and these creatures are found all over the world. They wait for you to go to sleep, and they hide under your bed, then they come out and bite your toe. This is a raniwi. These are super fast creatures with the temper of a honey badger. This is a catfin, and these are some of the most dangerous new creatures ever found. They swim through the water fast like torpedoes, but they are known to knock everything off boats. The candy is a much safer option though, although they're kind of messy on both ends, kind of like leaving little landmines everywhere. This is a dogster, and they're one of the safest to be around. And even though that boy is thick, they don't eat that much food. The monkola is highly vicious though. They sleep most of the day, but if you wake them up, they throw buckets of poo at you. This is a squinky, and they're to be avoided at all costs. If they see you walking with food, they come and steal your food and then wait. And if you're still there, they eat you next. The chisel is the next white meat. They're said to taste like chicken. And the pingo is a new favorite pet by some people. They are so friendly to the point that they annoy you to where you want to punch them.
Whatever you do not feel bad for this woman. This woman's name is lovely Kristen Antoinette Johnson, and she had a 6-month-old baby. But one more thing is, she was a severe drug addict, and she would often invite friends over to her house or go to her friends' houses to do drugs. And when she would do this, she would just lock her son up in a car seat and leave him inside the house. And she would place him in the attic where she wouldn't be able to hear him. Well, on this particular occasion, the little baby went 4 days without any food and starved to death. Apparently, the baby had diaper rash so severe his skin was literally falling off. When she found the baby, his body was already decomposing, and she still took him to the ER and got arrested there. And she was sentenced to 20 to 80 years in prison for the murder of her baby.
Thanks, man. You take certain...
Champagne sales are down 15% in 2024, and multiple champagne executives have said that people are just not celebrating as much. This dog went in for a teeth cleaning and was spayed instead. These astronauts were only supposed to be in space for 8 days and now have to stay in space until next year because of new safety concerns. A new study came out and said that when Barbie learned what a gynecologist was, millions of other people did as well. It was recently revealed that this US woman who was tied to a tree in the middle of the forest in India tied herself to it. New research is suggesting that mayonnaise may help us develop perfect nuclear fusion. Remote work is to blame for Google's struggles with AI, according to the former CEO. This man was given 40 sausage rolls for 40 years of service at his job. This woman in her 70s was fired from Home Depot after failing to stop a customer from using a suspicious card to spend over $5,000 in fraudulent charges.
These are 8
How is she gonna stop that?
That will probably keep you up at night. If you smell burnt toast and there's nothing actually burning, you are most probably having a stroke. If you have 5 brothers, one of you will go to 5 funerals, while another won't see even one. If you shiver randomly, that means a ghost passed near or through you. There are 2 days that don't last 24 hours. The one of your birth and the one of your death. In the original Little Red Riding Hood, the wolf forced her to eat her grandma. You've never actually seen your face. Only photos and reflections. People who fall in love lose an average of 2 friends each. By the time you reach the age of 18, On average, you have 3,300 weekends left in your life. Yeah, there's a lot more. Like for Party 11.
Learn some new stuff today.
You don't know about.
In 1991, a decomposing woman was found hanging from a shower in a New Mexico motel. Despite an image of her being found in the room, she and the man in the photo remain unidentified to this day. But her first name is believed to be Becca, thanks only to an anonymous tip given to police in 2021. In 2011, Tokyo officials went to congratulate the oldest man in the city on his 111th birthday. But upon entering the man's home, they instead found his mummified remains sprawled over his bed. He had been dead for more than 30 years, and his family was still collecting the pension money he was receiving. Tennessee man James Washington was always the prime suspect of a 1995 murder. But there is never sufficient evidence to charge him that was until 2012, when he was having a heart attack and confessed to the murder since he believed he was about to die. But Washington ended up making a full recovery, and was convicted based on this confession, which he later tried to take back.
Nah,
Scientific fact?
That's actually wild. You confess the truth in the end thinking, you know, it's all about to be over. Then try to recant it because you survived. Man, that's a diabolical liar right there.
About each zodiac sign. Tauruses are the clumsiest. An insurance policy expert that analyzed damage claims found that Tauruses made up the majority of those cases. However, Leos caused the most damage in terms of dollar value, even more than the Tauruses.
Wow.
Leos are the worst drivers. A car share service analyzed hundreds of thousands of users and found that Leos were the most likely to get traffic tickets. On the other hand, Aries were the safest drivers, making up the least amount of traffic violations from that same study. A survey from Career Builder found that Tauruses, Leos, Scorpios, and Cancers were the most likely to make over $100,000 a year. And that same study found that Aquarians and Capricorns were the most likely to make less than $35,000 per year.
Most terrifying urban legends from around the world. Once there was a police officer investigating a series of strange accidents, including car crashes, house fires, and even people who became aggressive with their loved ones seemingly out of nowhere. But after he got photos of these accidents, he realized they all had one thing in common. The same man was found in all of these photos. And the most disturbing part is his face is upside down. This turned out to be the urban legend of the man with the upside down face. He looks like a normal man, except his face is the wrong way, with his mouth at the top and his eyes at the bottom. This creature feeds off of people's negative emotions like grief, terror, and misery, making these emotions more intense until you can't stop yourself from doing something terrible. And the worst part is he's completely invisible to us, appearing only in photos. So let's just hope that he's not anywhere near us right now. Follow for more stories.
Upside down man. Looks like he caused a lot of freaking... He was feeding off a lot of pain, man. Any truth to that theory? I might have to go down that rabbit hole one day.
Facts that can one day save your life. If your hair suddenly stands up, run for cover because you're about to be hit by lightning. If a tornado ever looks like it's not moving, run or take cover, because it is actually moving towards you. If a service dog approaches you without its owner, follow them and do it quickly because you can save someone else's life. The more colourful the animal is, the more likely it's poisonous and you should never touch it.
This is why you should always lock your front doors. A kid living with both of his parents decided to watch a movie for their family weekly movie night. He then gets up to use the restroom. As he's in the restroom, he sees all of the power in the house cuts off, and then he hears two loud thumps. He locks the bathroom door and hears heavy objects being dragged across the hallway. The kid, freaking out, runs out of the bathroom and runs into the restroom. Once he is inside the room, he locks the door. As he locks the door, he jumps in bed and acts like he's asleep in hopes that this person who is in the house will ignore a child sleeping. He closes his eyes and hears the door creak at the same time. He squints his eyes and sees a man with no eyes dragging the bodies of both of his parents. The man dragging his parents sits his mom's dead body in a chair facing him, and then sets the dad's body on the floor facing up. It was almost like whoever was in the house who killed them wanted him to see it. He then sees the man writing something on the wall and then climbs under his bed. He laid there for hours knowing that if he moved a muscle he would end up just like his parents. He finally built up enough courage to read the wall, and the writing on the wall said, "I know you're awake."
This will make you never want to go into space. A man named Michael was alone in space with no other humans for thousands of miles. But then he heard static coming from his radio. and Michael had a gut-wrenching feeling. Hello, this is Michael Stanton of the Rising Dawn. Do you read me? Over. A breathless voice then replied, Thank God. I didn't know how much longer I could survive out here. What's going on? Where are you communicating from? The voice then said back, I'm right outside your ship, Stanton. Open the hatch door and let me in. Michael's heart rate quickened. He found the strength to turn off the radio, and then he heard it. Let me in, the voice repeated, but it wasn't like before. It sounded demonic, and Michael never opened the door. Everyone back home told him he could not have possibly heard those sounds in a space vacuum, but Michael still knew that thing was still out there.
That's based off an alien story or something? I thought you couldn't hear sounds in space.
Never play this game. This is the stairs game, and it's not for the weak. It's a sinister ritual and is extremely dangerous, and I don't recommend playing it. But if you do, please be very careful. You can play this game anytime during the day, but it's better to do it at night. The only things you need is a blindfold and a set of stairs. And don't worry about your staircase because it doesn't matter the amount of stairs you have. To begin the game, you have to be on the lowest step and say these words out loud. I come before you today, Lucifer. Open the gates of your kingdom for me. You have to repeat those words 6 times in order to be blessed and begin the game. Now, put on your blindfold and begin going up the stairs. Count every stair one by one and never forget the number you get. And then repeat it going down the stairs. Keep doing this until you have more stairs going down than up. You would then start sweating and hearing whispering voices, which means you are in the underworld. You would then hear a very creepy demonic voice from an entity asking you, what do you want? You then tell him, and then when you complete the game, you will get whatever you asked for. But here's the thing, if you fall at any point while playing this game, you will be completely stuck in the underworld forever.
Man, I never played any of those game seekers, bro. That game sounds like it's just it's a nightmare fuel waiting to happen. Who wants to go to the underworld anyway? That's something you would avoid. No, I don't think so. That's the edit. Call them out when you see it.
Strange phobias of celebrities.
Johnny Depp, coulrophobia, fear of clowns. We've seen him on screen working in Mask, but he is actually terrified of clowns. Katy Perry, nyctophobia, fear of darkness. She has admitted that she sleeps with the lights on because she thinks a lot of evil things go on in the dark. Kendall Jenner, trypophobia, fear of tiny holes. She says that she can't even look at those little holes that gives her anxiety. Madonna, astrophobia, fear of thunderstorm. She is so afraid of thunderstorm that she doesn't even step out of her house when it's raining.
Oh.
Tyra Banks, delphinophobia, fear of dolphins. She has been afraid of dolphins since she was 8 years old, because of dreams where she is in a pool and dolphins keep bumping into her.
Do not scan another QR code until you've heard this. Banks and regulators have issued a warning of the rise of QR code scams that are tricking people into stealing their financial information. Now, there are many ways that they are doing this, but one of the most unsuspecting methods is that they are sticking fake QR codes over real ones that you would normally scan to pay for things like food or parking. But once scanned, it brings you to a website that's designed to capture your credentials or download malware. And it's not just sticker scams, they're also being sent via email to corporations and workplaces, where to view a file, you need to scan this QR code. And while this is also affecting the US, in the UK alone, QR code scams have more than doubled since last year alone. And that is why...
Creepy photos that can't be explained.
Be vigilant.
This photo was taken in the basement of a house that was for sale a few years ago. The photo was taken by a realtor because he wanted to show his clients the house. Everything looks completely normal in this house until you look at the left corner. What appears to be a fairly transparent woman is standing towards the bottom of the stairs going to the basement. The realtor insists that nobody was there when he took the photo, but the strangest part about this photo lies in the backstory of this house. The house was previously owned by a man and his wife, but unfortunately the wife passed away, so the husband decided to sell. Another reason why the man wanted to sell his house is because after his wife passed, he kept hearing strange noises in the middle of the night while home alone. What do you guys think? Who or what was captured on camera? Like and follow for more.
maybe a squatter, and that's that picture Carter.
These are 8 horrifying facts that will probably keep you up at night. An average human walks past 36 murderers in their lifetime. There's future biotech technology. When injected into prisoners, it makes them feel they served a 1,000-year sentence in a matter of 8 hours. The blue whale ejaculates over 40 gallons of sperm when mating. Only 10% enters the female. And you always wonder why the sea tasted salty. If you block your nose when you sneeze, you can rupture a blood vessel in your neck that can make you bleed to death. People that are left-handed die 3 years faster than people that are right-handed. Watching horror films can burn up to 200 calories. You may be living the last year of your life without being aware of it. You are always 6 minutes away from death. Breathing just resets the clock. There's a lot more, like for part 9.
I never thought about it like that, especially about the breathing part. Puts things in perspective. Like, we really are 6 minutes away, but if you set the clock, it's like we're on a timer, man. That's why time is valuable.
I think this could be the strangest disappearance I have ever heard. This 19-year-old Jason Jolkowski, and in 2001, he was living at home in Omaha, Nebraska with his family, very normal life. And it was a summer day, June 13th, where something very disturbing took place right off the street. Jason wasn't supposed to work this day, but he got called into work, and it was a place called Fazoli's. It's kind of just like a fast casual Italian place, but the problem was he didn't have his car that day. He had no transportation. His manager, who made a couple of calls, and he arranged for one of the co-workers to go and pick up Jason at the nearby high school. For context, it's a very short walk from his house. It's quite literally only a few blocks. Problem was, Jason never showed. He had somehow completely vanished during this walk. He only could have gone so many ways. So one of the most logical was that he was going to take Bedford. It's a street with a lot of foot traffic, so people assumed that somebody would have seen him. An alternate option where maybe he took a couple of back roads to get to the high school. But again, what's known is that he never made it, and no one has ever found what happened to him, and nobody saw or heard what went down. Looking for more of a deep dive on this story, I'm probably going to cover it on The Sinister.
This mother murdered her 3 kids during a psychosis episode. On January 24th, 2023, 32-year-old Lindsay Clancy took the life of her 5-year-old daughter Cora, 3-year-old son Dawson, and 7-month-old baby Callan. On this day, at 4:53 p.m., Lindsay asked her husband Patrick to pick up some dinner at a restaurant not too far from the house. About an hour later, Patrick returned home and noticed that there was absolute silence. He called for Lindsay's name, and after no response, he went into the bedroom and noticed that the window was open. Both Cora and Dawson passed away in the hospital, but baby Callan passed away 3 days later due to his injuries. Lindsay's defense attorney claims that she was suffering from postpartum psychosis, which led her to break from reality and murder her children. But the state attorney argues that these killings were premeditated and that Lindsay sent her husband to get food on purpose so that she can commit these crimes. However, Dr. Caney, who is a board member of Postpartum Support International, clarified that women can completely break with reality during violent episodes. She also said that women who are a few weeks postpartum should be aware of the symptoms of psychosis, which is usually hallucinating. Lindsay was charged with 2 counts of murder, 3 counts of strangulation and assault, and battery with a deadly weapon. And get this.
Ooh, that's a chilling story, man.
Did you know these facts?
Serious
This loading
thing.
symbol is actually called a throbber. In the United States, 75% of truck owners do not use their truck for towing or going off-road. 2 million tires were intentionally dumped off the coast of Florida in the 1970s as an attempt to stimulate growth of new coral reefs. Miracle Village in Florida is a small town where more than 50% of the residents are registered offenders. When you sleep, your brain gets washed with spinal fluid. More people have walked on the moon than blocked a LeBron James dunk. Buzz Aldrin's dad never accepted that he was the number 2 man on the moon instead of number 1. His dad even tried to get USPS to change their commemorative stamp from first man on the moon to first men on the moon and failed. Big Bird looks different in every country. This is Big Bird in the Netherlands, this is Big Bird in Portugal, and this is Big Bird in Brazil.
What?
This is why you should never...
Did y'all know that Elmo had different big birds? That's about to... Imagine, bro. Kid in America, man, watching a different version of Elmo. That's gonna make them freaking go crazy, man, when they see that Big Bird wrong. I never knew that.
Ever drink tap water? shocked by the results.
Okay. Let's see what's under that. Need to see this.
40x. 100x. 400x.
Facts that will mess with your perception of time, Part 1. Woolly mammoths were still around while Egyptians were building the pyramids. Oxford University existed for hundreds of years before the Aztec Empire was founded. George Washington never knew dinosaurs existed. The Nintendo company was founded while Jack the Ripper was still on the loose.
What? Really? Damn, Nintendo's that old?
This is one of the creepiest urban legends I've ever heard, and it ended up being true. So for like 30 years in Maine, there was this urban legend that there was a man who had lived in the woods for decades and would break into people's houses as they slept. Also, all of this is coming from this week's episode, which is about terrifying true urban legends and is part of our Dark Summer series. This legend basically started because in this one community in Maine, people would wake up in the morning to find that their fridges were empty. And so they all started joking with each other that there was someone breaking into their homes at night and just taking food from their fridge. And it was a huge joke until someone put up a security camera one night. And this is the video that was captured, and before you say anything, I don't know why it took them so long to put up security cameras. Everyone was shocked, not only because the rumor was true, but because this didn't look like a hermit that lived in the woods. It looked like it could have been one of their neighbors. But the crazy thing is, no one knew who this guy was. They put up flyers with his face on it, and no one in all of Maine recognized him. And it wasn't until almost 20 years later that they actually figured out who it was. His name was Christopher Knight, and he was a hermit living in the woods of Maine for 27 years. But here's the thing, it's not like he was stealing valuables from the neighbors. He was only stealing food, and he only took what he needed. So what do you think? Was he a bad guy? And make sure you listen to this week's episode wherever you get your podcasts.
I mean, stealing is stealing. You breaking into people's houses, man. Take your food. I don't think anybody is gonna feel bad for him. Hey, that's my thoughts on that. Urban legends, man. There's always truth to them. I've learned that.
Here are some facts that you probably didn't know that one day could save your life. If your pupils don't dilate to the same size, there is a very real chance you have brain damage. A motorcycle helmet is stronger than a skull. Tea bags actually stop bleeding. They contain a chemical called tannic, which naturally clots your blood. If you're in the wilderness and desperately need water, you can take a plastic bag and hold it against the branch of a willow tree, and it will condensate drinkable water into the bag. Never put tools or heavy objects on the back seat or dash of your car. If you get into a crash, you might survive the collision, but these items could be the cause of your death. If you see vultures circling above you, chances are there's a predator nearby and it's about to make a kill. Grapefruits can actually mess with prescription medication, and the most common of these is birth control. So stay away, because trust me, you do not have the time for a grapefruit baby. If a canker sore in your mouth or tongue isn't going away after 2 weeks, you might want to get it checked out because it very well could be oral cancer.
I walked out of the theater after seeing Saw X and decided I need more. So here's 3 horror movies you need to watch, especially if you like Saw. First up is this absolutely insane movie called 31, about 5 carnival workers who get kidnapped by crazy killer clowns and forced to play a deadly game called 31. If I had to describe this movie in 2 words, it would be weird and insane. And I mean both as compliments. Next up is a movie I've been waiting to talk about, Dead Silence, which was made by the writers, directors, and producers of Saw. It's about a town with a unique urban legend of a doll maker turned serial killer. It's actually a crime that it has 21% on Rotten Tomatoes. Please watch this and let me know if you agree with me or the critics. I really need to know. And the last movie is also the one that's most similar to Saw, because The Collector was supposed to be John Kramer's origin story, but now it's about a different serial killer who turns different places into traps and collects victims from each of the traps that he makes. I have a whole video dedicated to The Collector series as well, so follow for more.
Fun fact.
I
The
love
webcam
scary
was
movies.
invented so researchers could see how much coffee was in the break room coffee pot at the University of Cambridge. And it was also the first thing to ever go viral. The computer laboratory at the University of Cambridge was a pretty large building with multiple floors, and all the researchers shared one break room with only one coffee pot, meaning they'd often go for a long walk to get a cup of coffee, only to find an empty coffee pot. So two researchers set up a small camera pointed at the coffee machine and hooked it up to the laboratory's local network and wrote a program called X-Coffee, which allowed the researchers to check on how much coffee was in the coffee pot from the comfort of their offices. When the internet went live to the public in 1993, X-Coffee was added to the World Wide Web and went viral. Thousands of people would tune in every day to check on how much coffee was in the coffee pot. They even got an email from Japan asking them to leave a light on in the break room overnight so the coffee pot could be viewed in different time zones.
People are convinced that this is a skinwalker. Listen carefully. Skinwalkers have the ability to mimic the sounds of a human voice, and they have been known to portray themselves as crows. So, could this be a skinwalker? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Also, I did a video on my YouTube channel about skinwalker sightings, so if you want to see that video, link in bio.
Was that a skinwalker seekers? I'm gonna have to say yes. I think it was. It was saying it to me, in my perspective, it said, come on. And it said it like a couple of times. I don't know if it's mimicking someone did it hear someone say that, but that's the first time I think I've seen a crow say like come on. I don't know if they have that ability or not, so tell me down below what do you guys think.
But are mermaids evil? Well, there's apparently different species of mermaids, each residing in different areas around the world, sirens being one of the most evil and malevolent species. I always think of the sirens from Harry Potter when I think of these. Sirens can lure you in with visual and audio manipulation. They utilize songs to put you in a trance and bring you close enough to them so that you can see their true form. Usually they look frightening like this and have really long, sharp teeth. And this is when they kidnap you and keep you forever. And apparently a lot of people in the Caribbean area have experiences of being abducted by mermaids. I was watching this girl's video about how to make a deal properly with a mermaid, and apparently if you want something like to be healed or to be wealthy, usually a mermaid will want something in return. It can be something as simple as salt all the way up to a child or a relative. Mermaids apparently have the ability to keep you breathing underwater, so it's not that they're drowning the person you give them, it's just that they're holding them hostage underwater. But if they're feeling nice, they'll let you see them once a year.
His name was Max Logan, and at 13 years old, he discovered a device that cost only $14 and could create pure energy. Called it an electromagnetic harvester. And now people don't know what happened to him. I searched it myself, and some people say that he's missing. Other people said that he passed away with his mother in a car crash. Creating pure energy for only $14 is insane, so people think that the government came after him. But you can let me know your thoughts in the comments below.
You guys ever wake up in the middle of the night and feel like something's watching you? This guy woke up in the middle of the night and actually caught this thing staring at him on camera. I'm gonna roll the clip right now.
I still feel like there was something definitely in that corner. It just like vanished up.
I asked some of my haunted dolls if they had any advice for me while I was meeting the actual Annabelle doll today. Here's what they said.
How is she communicating with them? all haunted dolls. Yeah, I know I don't do dolls, seekers. I get creepy vibes for the bad. If you guys made it with me to the end of the video, you're a true seeker seeking the truth. I greatly appreciate the support. Like I said, make sure you guys like the video, comment down below, hit that post notification bell so you always get notified when I upload. You guys are going to catch you in the next one, man. I'm out. Peace, YouTube.